Imagine a world in chaos. Streets are empty, cities are silent. A killer stalks unseen. It doesn't discriminate. Young or old, rich or poor, it doesn't care. This isn't a horror movie. It's the very real threat of pandemics. Throughout history, pandemics have ravaged humanity. They've toppled empires and reshaped civilizations. They are a stark reminder of our vulnerability, a force of nature capable of bringing the world to a standstill. But what are these invisible enemies? They are viruses, tiny infectious agents, much smaller than bacteria, that hijack our body's cells. They spread like whispers in the wind, through a cough, a handshake, a simple touch. And sometimes they erupt into global pandemics, changing the course of history. Understanding pandemics, their causes, and their consequences is crucial for our survival. The Black Death, a plague that swept across Europe in the 14th century, wiped out a third of the population. The 1918 influenza pandemic killed an estimated 50 million people, more than the casualties of World War I. These events, etched in our collective memory, are stark reminders of the devastating power of pandemics. These outbreaks are not just events of the past. In our interconnected world, a virus can travel from a remote village to a bustling city in a matter of hours. The 2003 SARS outbreak, the 2014 Ebola epidemic, and the recent COVID-19 pandemic demonstrate the ever-present threat of infectious diseases. Pandemics are a complex interplay of biology, human behavior, and global interconnectedness. To understand them is to understand our own vulnerability, but also our resilience. Throughout history, humanity has faced these challenges head-on, developing new technologies, adapting behaviors, and ultimately surviving. Understanding the history of pandemics is not about dwelling on the darkness, but about learning from it. By studying the past, we can better prepare for the future and ensure that we are ready to face the next big threat. Imagine a microscopic world, a universe teeming with life too small to see. Here, among the bacteria and cells, exist viruses, tiny, simple organisms that are masters of survival. Viruses are essentially packets of genetic material, either DNA or RNA, encased in a protein shell. They are incredibly small, thousands of times smaller than a human cell, and they can't reproduce on their own. Instead, viruses need a host cell to survive. They act like pirates, hijacking healthy cells and turning them into virus factories. Once inside a cell, a virus releases its genetic material, taking over the cell's machinery to create copies of itself. These new viruses then burst out, often destroying the host cell in the process, and go on to infect other cells, repeating the cycle. This process of infection is what causes the symptoms of viral diseases. The severity of the illness depends on the type of virus, the cells it infects, and the body's immune response. Some viruses, like the common cold, cause mild symptoms, while others, like Ebola, can be deadly. Understanding how viruses work is the first step in understanding the threat of pandemics. Viruses are masters of transmission, spreading from person to person through various routes. Some, like the flu virus, spread through respiratory droplets released when an infected person coughs or sneezes. These droplets can travel up to 6 feet and infect someone who inhales them or touches contaminated surfaces. Other viruses spread through bodily fluids like blood or saliva. HIV, for example, can be transmitted through sexual contact, sharing needles, or from mother to child during pregnancy or breastfeeding. Some viruses, like Zika, can be spread through mosquito bites. The ease with which a virus spreads depends on several factors, including its mode of transmission, how long it can survive outside the body, and whether it can spread before symptoms appear. Viruses that spread easily and efficiently, especially those that can be transmitted before symptoms are noticeable, have the potential to cause widespread outbreaks. In our increasingly interconnected world, viruses can travel vast distances quickly. Air travel, for example, allows infected individuals to carry a virus to different continents in a matter of hours. This rapid spread makes it crucial to detect and contain outbreaks early to prevent them from escalating into global pandemics. Not all viral outbreaks become pandemics. An outbreak occurs when a disease spreads rapidly within a localized area or population. Pandemics, however, are different. They are global epidemics, affecting a wide geographical area and a significant proportion of the population. Several factors contribute to the emergence of pandemics. One is the emergence of novel viruses, like the SARS-CoV-2 virus that caused the COVID-19 pandemic. These viruses are new to humans, meaning our immune systems have no prior experience fighting them, making us more susceptible to infection. Another factor is the ease of international travel and trade. As people and goods move rapidly across borders, so too can viruses. This interconnectedness makes it challenging to contain outbreaks, allowing them to spread quickly and potentially escalate into pandemics. Climate change is also believed to play a role in the emergence of infectious diseases. As temperatures rise and weather patterns change, they can create more favorable conditions for disease-carrying insects like mosquitoes, expanding their range and increasing the risk of outbreaks. Understanding pandemics requires navigating a complex landscape of scientific terms. Here are a few key terms to know. A virus is a tiny infectious agent that can only replicate inside the living cells of other organisms. A pandemic is an epidemic of an infectious disease that has spread across a large region, typically across multiple continents or worldwide. An epidemic is a widespread occurrence of an infectious disease in a community at a particular time. An outbreak is a sudden increase in occurrences of a disease in a particular time and place. The incubation period is the time between exposure to a virus and the onset of symptoms. R0, or R0, is a measure of how contagious an infectious disease is. It represents the average number of people that one infected person will pass the disease to in a susceptible population. These terms are essential for understanding public health messages and scientific information about pandemics. By familiarizing ourselves with this language, we can better comprehend the risks, make informed decisions, and contribute to a safer world. The year is 1346. The world is a different place. News travels slowly, carried by ship or horseback. Life is hard, and death is a constant companion. Then, a shadow falls across the globe. From the bustling ports of Asia, a killer arrives in Europe. It's not an invading army, but something far smaller and infinitely more deadly. The Black Death, a plague like no other, has arrived. People start dying. Not just dying, but perishing in agony. Fever, chills, and aches rack their bodies. Swollen lymph nodes, black with blood, erupt on their skin. Death comes swiftly, often within days. Panic grips the land. No one knows what causes this plague or how to stop it. The Black Death, caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, spread like wildfire. Carried by fleas that lived on rats, it thrived in the crowded, unsanitary conditions of medieval cities. Entire families were wiped out. Villages became ghost towns. The social order crumbled as people abandoned their homes and loved ones, desperate to outrun the invisible killer. The Black Death ravaged Europe for 5 long years, leaving an estimated 25 million dead in its wake. It reshaped the social fabric of Europe. The feudal system, reliant on peasant labor, was shattered. The church, once a beacon of hope, was questioned as people struggled to understand the devastation. The Black Death, a stark reminder of human vulnerability, changed the course of history. Smallpox, a viral disease characterized by fever and a distinctive disfiguring rash, has plagued humanity for centuries. Evidence of smallpox scars on Egyptian mummies suggests its ancient origins. For millennia, smallpox outbreaks swept across continents, leaving a trail of death and suffering in their wake. In the 18th century, an estimated 400,000 people died from smallpox each year in Europe alone. The fight against smallpox is a testament to human ingenuity and collaboration. In 1796, Edward Jenner, an English physician, made a groundbreaking discovery. He observed that milkmaids infected with cowpox, a milder disease related to smallpox, seemed to be immune to the deadly virus. This led him to develop the world's first vaccine. Jenner's vaccine, met with initial skepticism, proved to be remarkably effective. Over time, vaccination campaigns spread across the globe, dramatically reducing the incidence of smallpox. In 1980, After a decades-long global eradication effort led by the World Health Organization, smallpox became the first and only human disease to be eradicated. The eradication of smallpox stands as a beacon of hope and a testament to the power of science and collective action. It demonstrates that even the most devastating diseases can be conquered through global cooperation, scientific innovation, and unwavering commitment to public health. As the horrors of World War I were finally drawing to a close, a new enemy emerged, one that would claim far more lives than the trenches ever could. The 1918 influenza pandemic, often referred to as the Spanish flu, swept across the globe with terrifying speed and ferocity. Unlike many influenza strains that primarily affect the very young and the very old, this virus targeted healthy young adults, leaving a generation decimated. The pandemic struck in 3 waves, the second wave proving the deadliest. Hospitals overflowed with patients struggling to breathe. Morgues were overwhelmed. Cities shut down, schools closed, and public gatherings were banned in a desperate attempt to slow the spread. Fear and uncertainty gripped the world as people watched loved ones succumb to the disease. The 1918 flu, caused by the H1N1 virus, spread with unprecedented speed and virulence. Factors like wartime troop movements, crowded living conditions, and poor nutrition likely contributed to its devastating impact. By the time the pandemic subsided in 1920, an estimated 50 to 100 million people had died, more than the combined casualties of World War I, the Napoleonic Wars, and the Black Death. The 1918 flu pandemic serves as a stark reminder of the devastating potential of infectious diseases. It highlighted the need for global health surveillance, preparedness, and rapid response to contain outbreaks before they escalate into global crises. In the early 1980s, a new and mysterious illness began to emerge, primarily among young, otherwise healthy gay men in the United States. Initially dubbed gay-related immune deficiency, or GRID, the disease, later named acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, or AIDS, caused a rapid decline in the body's immune system, leaving individuals vulnerable to opportunistic infections and cancers. As the number of cases grew, so too did fear, stigma, and misinformation. The scientific community raced to understand the cause of this new disease and find effective treatments. In 1983, researchers identified the culprit, a retrovirus that would come to be known as the human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV. HIV, transmitted through bodily fluids, primarily through sexual contact and sharing needles, spread rapidly across the globe. The lack of effective treatments in the early years of the epidemic meant that an HIV diagnosis was often a death sentence. The social stigma surrounding the disease, fueled by misinformation and prejudice, further marginalized those affected. Over the past 4 decades, the global response to HIV and AIDS has evolved dramatically. Scientific advancements have led to the development of antiretroviral drugs, which can suppress the virus, prevent transmission, and allow people with HIV to live long, healthy lives. Public health campaigns have helped to raise awareness, reduce stigma, and promote prevention strategies. While HIV and AIDS remain a major global health challenge, particularly in sub-Saharan Africa, the progress made in prevention, treatment, and care offers a beacon of hope. The story of HIV and AIDS reminds us of the importance of scientific research, public health infrastructure, and a compassionate, evidence-based approach to tackling infectious diseases. In 2003, a novel coronavirus emerged in Guangdong Province, China, causing severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS. The virus, known as SARS-CoV-1, spread rapidly from person to person, mainly through respiratory droplets released when an infected individual coughed or sneezed. The outbreak quickly spread to other countries, largely because of international air travel. SARS symptoms included fever, cough, shortness of breath, and in severe cases, pneumonia and respiratory failure. The outbreak caused widespread fear and disruption, leading to travel restrictions, quarantines, and school closures in affected areas. The World Health Organization issued a global alert, urging countries to be on high alert for cases and to implement measures to contain the spread. The global response to SARS was swift and coordinated. Public health authorities worked tirelessly to track and isolate cases, trace contacts, and implement infection control measures in healthcare settings. Travel restrictions and border screenings helped to slow the spread of the virus. By July 2003, just 8 months after the outbreak began, the WHO declared that SARS had been contained. A combination of public health measures, international collaboration, and honestly, a bit of luck helped to prevent a global pandemic. However, the SARS outbreak served as a stark warning, highlighting the vulnerabilities of our interconnected world to emerging infectious diseases. In December 2019, a novel coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, emerged in Wuhan, China, causing a cluster of cases of pneumonia-like illness. The virus, closely related to the SARS virus from 2003, spread rapidly, soon overwhelming the healthcare system in Wuhan. As cases began to emerge in other countries, it became clear that the world was facing a new pandemic. COVID-19, the disease caused by SARS-CoV-2, spread across the globe with unprecedented speed. The virus, highly transmissible through respiratory droplets and aerosols, exploited the interconnectedness of our world, spreading through air travel, mass gatherings, and everyday interactions. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a profound impact on every aspect of our lives. Lockdowns, travel restrictions, and social distancing measures became the new normal as governments scrambled to contain the spread. Healthcare systems around the world faced unprecedented strain. The economic fallout was swift and severe, with businesses shuttering and millions losing their jobs. The pandemic has also exposed and, honestly, worsened existing inequalities, disproportionately impacting marginalized communities, essential workers, and low-income countries. The mental health toll of the pandemic, with its isolation, uncertainty, and grief, has been immense. Yet, amidst these challenges, the COVID-19 pandemic has also revealed the resilience of the human spirit. The global response to COVID-19 has been marked by both successes and failures. Scientific advancements led to the rapid development of vaccines, which really is a testament to human ingenuity. Healthcare workers have shown extraordinary courage and dedication on the front lines. Communities have come together to support each other. However, the pandemic has also exposed weaknesses in global health systems, highlighted the dangers of misinformation, and underscored the urgent need for international cooperation. In the face of invisible enemies like viruses, humanity has developed powerful weapons, vaccines, and antiviral drugs. Vaccines, often considered one of the greatest triumphs of modern medicine, work by mimicking a natural infection. They introduce a weakened or inactive form of a virus into the body, triggering the immune system to produce antibodies without causing the disease. These antibodies act like trained soldiers, ready to defend the body against future attacks by the same virus. Vaccines have been instrumental in eradicating smallpox and dramatically reducing the incidence of diseases like polio, measles, and rubella. The speed at which scientists developed safe and effective vaccines against COVID-19 is, honestly, a testament to the power of scientific innovation and collaboration. Antiviral drugs, on the other hand, work by interfering with the virus's ability to replicate inside the body. These drugs can shorten the duration of illness, reduce the severity of symptoms, and prevent complications. Antivirals are available for a growing number of viruses, including influenza, HIV, and hepatitis C. While vaccines and antivirals are powerful tools in the fight against pandemics, they are not without their limitations. Developing new vaccines can be time-consuming and expensive, and some viruses, like HIV, mutate rapidly, making it really challenging to develop effective vaccines or antivirals. Furthermore, access to these life-saving medications remains unequal globally, highlighting the need for equitable distribution and affordable healthcare for all. The history of medicine is a testament to human ingenuity and our unwavering pursuit of solutions to even the most daunting health challenges. From ancient remedies to modern marvels, our understanding of diseases and our ability to treat them have evolved dramatically over centuries. The discovery of penicillin, The first antibiotic, in 1928, revolutionized medicine, ushering in an era where bacterial infections, once often fatal, could be treated effectively. But antibiotics, however, are ineffective against viruses. The search for antiviral drugs gained momentum in the latter half of the 20th century with the emergence of new viral diseases like HIV and AIDS. The development of antiretroviral therapy, or RT for HIV, was a major breakthrough, transforming what was once a death sentence into a manageable chronic condition. Medical innovations extend beyond drugs and vaccines. Advances in diagnostic tools like polymerase chain reaction or PCR testing have really revolutionized our ability to detect viruses quickly and accurately. Improvements in intensive care medicine, including the development of ventilators and extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, or ECMO, have increased survival rates for patients with severe respiratory illnesses. These medical marvels highlight the power of scientific inquiry, technological advancements, and the dedication of countless researchers, healthcare professionals, and public health experts who work tirelessly to improve human health. Their efforts have saved countless lives and continue to provide hope in the face of emerging health threats. While medical innovations are crucial, public health measures are often our first and most effective line of defense against pandemics. Public health encompasses a wide range of strategies aimed at preventing disease, promoting health, and prolonging life among populations. These strategies target multiple levels, from individual behavior change to global health policies. One of the most effective public health interventions is surveillance, the systematic collection, analysis, and interpretation of health data. Surveillance systems act as early warning systems, helping to detect outbreaks quickly, track the spread of diseases, and inform public health responses. During pandemics, surveillance data is crucial for monitoring disease trends, identifying high-risk populations, and evaluating the effectiveness of interventions. Another cornerstone of public health is health education, which empowers individuals to make informed decisions about their health and adopt healthy behaviors. During pandemics, clear, accurate, and timely communication is essential for combating misinformation, promoting preventive measures like hand washing and mask wearing, and encouraging vaccination. Public health infrastructure, including robust healthcare systems, trained healthcare workers, and accessible healthcare facilities, is essential for responding effectively to pandemics. Strong public health systems can rapidly identify and isolate cases, trace contacts, and provide appropriate medical care, helping to slow the spread of disease and reduce the burden on healthcare systems. Pandemics, while global in reach, often test the strength and resilience of communities at a local level. Faced with fear, uncertainty, and disruption, communities have risen to the challenge time and again, demonstrating the enduring power of human connection and compassion. From acts of individual kindness to organized community efforts, people have come together to support their neighbors, protect the vulnerable, and maintain a sense of normalcy amidst extraordinary circumstances. During the COVID-19 pandemic, stories of community resilience abounded. Neighbors helped elderly residents with groceries and errands. Volunteers sewed masks and delivered meals to healthcare workers. Musicians held virtual concerts to lift spirits. Teachers went above and beyond to support students learning remotely. These acts of kindness, both big and small, highlighted the strength of human connection and the importance of community in times of crisis. Community organizations, from faith-based groups to neighborhood associations, played a vital role in supporting those in need. They organized food banks, provided childcare for essential workers, and offered mental health support to those struggling with isolation and anxiety. These organizations, deeply rooted in their communities, were often able to reach those most in need, providing a lifeline during a time of unprecedented challenges. The power of community extends beyond immediate crisis response. Community engagement is essential for building trust in public health recommendations, promoting vaccination uptake, and addressing health disparities. By working together, communities can build resilience, foster a sense of belonging, and create a stronger, healthier future for all. Throughout history, pandemics have tested the limits of human resilience, but they have also revealed our remarkable capacity for adaptation and innovation. Faced with unprecedented challenges, individuals, communities, and societies have found ways to adapt, overcome, and emerge stronger from adversity. The COVID-19 pandemic, for example, forced a rapid shift to remote work, online learning, and virtual communication. While these changes were not without their challenges, they also highlighted our adaptability and our ability to harness technology to maintain a sense of normalcy and connection. The pandemic also spurred innovation across various sectors. Manufacturers pivoted to produce personal protective equipment and ventilators. Researchers developed new diagnostic tools and treatments at an unprecedented pace. Entrepreneurs found creative ways to support businesses and communities. Beyond technological advancements, pandemics often lead to social and cultural shifts. The Black Death, for example, contributed to the decline of feudalism in Europe. The 1918 flu pandemic spurred investments in public health infrastructure. The COVID-19 pandemic has prompted reflection on work-life balance, the importance of social connections, and the interconnectedness of our world. The resilience of humanity lies not only in our ability to adapt and innovate, but also in our capacity for empathy, compassion, and collective action. When faced with adversity, we have a remarkable ability to come together, support each other, and find meaning and purpose in shared challenges. Pandemics, while devastating, often serve as reminders of our shared humanity and our collective responsibility to create a healthier, more equitable, and resilient world. In the darkest hours of pandemics, when fear and uncertainty cast long shadows, the human spirit shines brightest. Amidst the suffering and loss, stories of compassion, courage, and selflessness emerge, reminding us of the fundamental goodness that resides within humanity. These stories, often small and personal, weave a tapestry of hope, demonstrating the extraordinary power of human connection to heal, inspire, and uplift. During the COVID-19 pandemic, a global wave of kindness swept across communities. Neighbors, friends, and even strangers stepped up to help those in need, offering a helping hand, a listening ear, or a simple gesture of support. Healthcare workers, working tirelessly on the front lines, found solace in the outpouring of gratitude from their communities. From homemade meals delivered to hospitals to children's drawings plastered on windows, these acts of appreciation provided a much-needed boost of morale during a challenging time. In Italy, where the pandemic hit particularly hard in the early months, communities found solace in music. As the sound of ambulance sirens filled the air, residents took to their balconies each evening to sing, play instruments, and applaud healthcare workers. These impromptu concerts, echoing through the empty streets, became a powerful symbol of unity, resilience, and hope amidst the fear and isolation. These acts of kindness, while simple, had a profound impact. They fostered a sense of community, reminded people that they were not alone, and provided a glimmer of hope in a time of darkness. They demonstrated that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit could triumph, fueled by compassion, empathy, and an unwavering belief in the power of human connection. Pandemics, by their very nature, bring with them stories of loss, grief, and unimaginable hardship. Yet amidst the darkness, there are also countless stories of survival, resilience, and the indomitable human spirit's ability to overcome even the most daunting challenges. These stories, often harrowing yet ultimately hopeful, offer a testament to the strength that lies within each of us. Consider the story of Eliav Lavi, an Israeli doctor who contracted COVID-19 while treating patients at the height of the pandemic. Lavi, a young father, spent weeks in a medically induced coma, his life hanging in the balance. His family, unable to visit him in the intensive care unit, clung to hope, drawing strength from the outpouring of support from their community and the unwavering dedication of the medical team caring for their loved one. After a long and arduous battle, Lavi awoke from his coma, his body weakened but his spirit unbroken. His recovery, while gradual, was a testament to his own resilience, the unwavering support of his family, and the tireless efforts of his medical team. Lavi's story, one of countless similar tales of survival, serves as a beacon of hope, reminding us that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can endure and overcome. For every story of individual resilience, there are countless more of communities coming together to support those affected by pandemics. During the HIV/AIDS epidemic, a time when stigma and misinformation cast a long shadow over the disease, communities rallied to provide care, support, and advocacy for those living with the virus. Organizations like the Gay Men's Health Crisis emerged, providing essential services, education, and a sense of community for those affected by the epidemic. These community-based organizations, often staffed by volunteers, played a vital role in changing the course of the epidemic. They challenged stigma, provided compassionate care, and advocated for increased funding for research and treatment. Their efforts, rooted in empathy, activism, and a deep belief in the inherent dignity of every individual, helped to transform the landscape of HIV/AIDS, turning a once feared and misunderstood disease into a manageable chronic condition. Pandemics, while disruptive and often devastating, have also historically been catalysts for innovation and ingenuity. Faced with unprecedented challenges, individuals, communities, and societies have risen to the occasion, finding creative solutions to maintain a sense of normalcy, support those in need, and ultimately emerge stronger from adversity. These lessons in adaptation and innovation offer valuable insights for navigating future challenges. The COVID-19 pandemic, with its lockdowns, travel restrictions, and social distancing measures, forced a rapid shift to remote work, online learning, and virtual communication. While not without their challenges, these adaptations highlighted our ability to leverage technology to maintain a semblance of normalcy and connection in a time of physical separation. Businesses pivoted to online platforms, educators embraced remote learning tools, and families found creative ways to stay connected with loved ones. Beyond the digital realm, the pandemic sparked innovation across various sectors. Manufacturers retooled their factories to produce personal protective equipment, ventilators, and other essential medical supplies, demonstrating adaptability and ingenuity in the face of urgent need. Researchers around the world collaborated at an unprecedented pace to develop new diagnostic tools, treatments, and vaccines, achieving breakthroughs that might have taken years under normal circumstances. The pandemic also highlighted the importance of agility and flexibility in healthcare systems. Hospitals rapidly expanded their capacity, implemented telemedicine programs, and adopted new models of care to meet the surging demand for medical services. Public health agencies, often working with limited resources and facing rapidly evolving situations, had to adapt quickly, implementing contact tracing programs, establishing testing centers, and disseminating critical public health information to their communities. As we emerge from the shadow of recent pandemics, we carry with us valuable lessons about our vulnerabilities, our strengths, and the importance of collective action. The COVID-19 pandemic in particular has exposed deep-seated inequalities, highlighted the fragility of global systems, and underscored the urgent need to build back better, creating a more resilient, equitable, and sustainable future for all. One of the most profound lessons of recent pandemics is the interconnectedness of our world. Infectious diseases, like viruses, do not respect borders or discriminate based on nationality, ethnicity, or socioeconomic status. A health threat in one part of the world can quickly become a global crisis, as evidenced by the rapid spread of COVID-19. Building a more resilient future requires strengthening global health infrastructure, promoting international collaboration, and ensuring equitable access to healthcare for all. The pandemic has also highlighted the importance of investing in public health systems. Strong public health infrastructure, including robust surveillance systems, trained healthcare workforces, and accessible healthcare facilities, is essential for preventing, detecting, and responding effectively to infectious disease outbreaks. By prioritizing public health investments, we can create stronger, more resilient communities, better equipped to withstand future health challenges. Furthermore, building back better requires addressing the root causes of health disparities. The COVID-19 pandemic has disproportionately impacted marginalized communities, those living in poverty, and those with pre-existing health conditions. By addressing social determinants of health, such as access to quality education, affordable housing, and economic opportunities, we can create a more equitable society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. The challenges posed by pandemics are complex and multifaceted, requiring comprehensive and collaborative solutions. By embracing the lessons learned, investing in public health, promoting global cooperation, and addressing systemic inequalities, we can build a more resilient, equitable, and sustainable future for all, one where we are better prepared to face the inevitable health challenges that lie ahead. From the Black Death's shadow to the COVID-19 world, one thing is clear. Humanity and pandemics are locked in an unending dance. This isn't a waltz, but a primal struggle. Viruses, those tiny strands of genetic code, test our very existence. They remind us that for all our technology and progress, we are still vulnerable to the whims of nature. We've explored the science, how a virus, a mere blueprint, hijacks our cells, turning them into factories of its own making. We've journeyed through history, witnessing the Black Death decimate medieval Europe, the 1918 flu steal a generation, and HIV/AIDS cast a long shadow of fear. These aren't just textbook entries. They are stark reminders of the immense power these microscopic entities wield. But this story isn't just about death tolls and despair. It's also about the incredible tenacity of the human spirit. We fight back. We always have. We develop vaccines, those microscopic heroes trained to recognize and defeat the enemy. We discover antivirals, disrupting the virus's deadly dance within our bodies. And just as importantly, we adapt. We change our behaviors, from simple hand washing to citywide lockdowns, to protect ourselves and each other. It's in these moments, when faced with an invisible enemy, that our shared humanity shines through. Yet history has a cruel habit of repeating itself. Despite the hard-won lessons of past pandemics, we often find ourselves caught off guard, our collective memory fading with time. The urgency that fuels innovation and cooperation during a crisis wanes, replaced by complacency and a dangerous sense of security. We've seen this pattern time and again. The 1918 flu, a stark reminder of the devastation a pandemic can unleash, faded from public consciousness, its lessons unheeded. When SARS emerged in 2003, it served as a wake-up call, a stark warning of our interconnected vulnerability. Yet the world breathed a collective sigh of relief as it was contained, and the sense of urgency faded once more. But viruses don't forget. They lurk in the shadows, constantly evolving, waiting for an opportunity to exploit our weaknesses. And so, the cycle continues. A new virus emerges, throwing the world into chaos, reminding us of the price of forgetting the lessons of the past. The COVID-19 pandemic, a crisis that touched every corner of the globe, served as a stark reminder of this cycle. It exposed the fragility of our systems, the inequalities that exacerbate health crises, and the devastating consequences of misinformation and division. But it also highlighted our capacity for innovation, compassion, and collective action. So, where do we go from here? The answer lies not in fear, but in preparedness. We cannot prevent future pandemics, but we can dramatically mitigate their impact through proactive measures and a commitment to global cooperation. This is not a time for complacency, but a call to action. First and foremost, we must invest in robust public health infrastructure globally. This includes strengthening surveillance systems to detect outbreaks early, supporting research and development of vaccines and antivirals, and ensuring equitable access to healthcare for all. The COVID-19 pandemic exposed the consequences of neglecting public health. We cannot afford to repeat those mistakes. Second, we must prioritize clear, accurate, and science-based communication. Misinformation is a virus in itself, spreading fear and eroding trust in public health measures. Governments, healthcare professionals, and the media all have a crucial role to play in combating misinformation and promoting evidence-based guidance. Third, We must foster a spirit of global cooperation. Pandemics, by their very nature, transcend borders. Addressing them effectively requires international collaboration, data sharing, and a commitment to equitable distribution of resources, including vaccines and treatments. The COVID-19 pandemic, for all its devastation, has presented us with a unique opportunity to reimagine our future. We have a chance to build back better, creating a world that is not only more resilient to future health threats, but also more equitable, just, and sustainable. This will require a fundamental shift in perspective. We must move away from a reactive approach to health, where we scramble to contain outbreaks after they occur, and towards a proactive approach, one that prioritizes prevention, preparedness, and a holistic understanding of the interconnectedness of human, animal, and environmental health. This is not just a task for governments or healthcare professionals. It's a collective responsibility that requires the participation of every individual. We can all play a role by getting vaccinated, staying informed about public health recommendations, advocating for policies that promote health equity, and supporting organizations working on the front lines of pandemic preparedness and response. The path ahead will undoubtedly be challenging. There will be setbacks, unforeseen obstacles, and the ever-present threat of new and emerging diseases. But if history has taught us anything, it's that humanity is remarkably resilient. We have the ingenuity, the compassion, and the collective will to overcome even the most daunting challenges. By learning from the lessons of the past, embracing a spirit of collaboration, and investing in a healthier, more equitable future, we can create a world where pandemics, while not eradicated, no longer hold the power to disrupt our lives, shatter our economies, or steal our loved ones. This is the future we must strive for, a future where humanity and viruses coexist, not in a dance of destruction, but in a rhythm of resilience and hope.